like a lot of artists in history like have weird ass sleep schedules. So like I'm obsessed with Dali.
Oh yeah.
And he would do wild shit. Like he would stay up all night with a pan like attached to his like his the back of his seat, and he called it like el estado de paranoia, like getting into the paranoid state for like 2 or 3 days, and that's where he would like create his shit. When you work on stuff, do you design at like 4 a.m, or is it really when you just go and execute, you're an all-nighter?
No, it's both, but like especially and this kind of we can talk about this later too, but like I think ideas come from like you're like a conduit, right? We're just, and this has been said by multiple artists, musicians all over the place. So to me, I feel as though if I'm receptive and I have my antennas up at a very chill time of the night, when like basically like collective consciousness and even dream states and whatnot, that stuff is like flying through the air or the ether or whatever, and then I am up and awake and trying to like get into flow state and just like attach my antenna to that, I have an easier time with being able to like lock in. And I mean, I've always been like a night owl, so I don't know if I was like,
always mean?
Since I was like a little kid.
Really?
Yeah. Even when I was like 9, my parents would try to get me to go to sleep, or 6 even, to go to sleep at like, 8 or 9 or something like that. And I'd just stay awake until like midnight, just trying to like, do whatever. They actually caught me with like a beer and marmalade. When I was like 6
trying
years
to make
old.
a new invention, dude, a
Yeah,
cocktail. Does this make mead? I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, for whatever reason, I've always been attracted to the night, like a little vampire. But
I think it was really good for you to do all of this at that point, because what's probably in the ether of the consciousness at night this time is fucking Japan. It's fully daytime, fully awake, locking straight in over here, dude.
True that.
Your induction inducer. I always forget what the term is, but like there's an Epstein, one of the mini Epsteins, not the bad one, one of the Robert Epstein, who he has like this whole theory around like cleaning your like inducer, I think he calls it, but it's basically that antenna that allows us to like connect to whatever's delivering messages to us.
I also think, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think like indigenous people, like Native Americans and stuff would rock like the headdresses and whatnot, actually add and elevate to that like connection.
Things that aim up.
Yeah. Like I think even hair, unfortunately I don't have any, but I think hair like does that as well.
Dude, so, I don't know, dude. I feel like the people with like that rock those crazy gelled mohawks, like I don't know how good their ideas are generally. I think they all have the same idea. Let's get a Misfits patch and put it on her fucking denim.
That's so funny. I'm like covering up my Misfits.
But like, maybe the gel fucks it up. I don't know.
Yeah. Or I think like nowadays, I feel as though so many things are actually meant to disrupt our connection to like the spirit, to the ether, to our higher selves or whatever. Like say for instance, I don't know if this is actually like a real thing, but lead paint, they got rid of the lead paint a long time ago because that affects, if 5G or,
you don't think it affects like air quality and IQ?
I'm sure it does. But I think that there's stuff like that, even like rubber soles, they're more, I would say comfortable, but you're not connecting to earth, right? Like earthing, that kind of thing. So I think the more you can ground and be a part of the earth's connection, then you're going to be like actually more in tune.
I totally agree with that. I just think it's so fucking funny when people try to ground like in this environment today.
Yeah.
Like it's like people at Squatch work out barefoot. But it's like, dude, you guys realize you're working on a rubber turf.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not grounding. 2, like, all of the particles from all of the cars is pure rubber. So, like, anything around roads is going to be, like, super fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up I didn't wear shoes except for skateboarding until I was 10. Every time I went to a movie theater, I had to fucking get a pair of shoes because they wouldn't let me in. And I'm not even talking flip-flops. Like, I was shoeless. I wasn't allowed to wear them to school. But, like, dude, I grew up in a place that had one road for, like, the entirety of the island. So like, you know, very little access to cars. Like I'm on the sand, I'm fucking in the ocean, I'm in like the grass. It's like the closest road that cars drive on is, you know, hundreds of feet away. And it's just like, I'd have no desire to walk around barefoot around Austin. Like it sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't want, because feet absorb a hell of shit, and maybe like my fucking shoes aren't better, but I don't know, it's gnarly out there.
I feel you on that. I've done it for sure, and probably more so because I've just heard that it's good.
Mhm.
Like I do feel like a little bit more calm and stuff when but that could be a placebo effect too, where I'm like literally doing it on purpose because I've heard this stuff
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
does affect, and then I'm just like, oh yeah, it
I
does.
100% think it affects, but like the city environment in the downtown area is like something I want to decrease my exposure to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, usually I'll do it like in the park or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But then you also got to worry about like dogs and
Yep.
you know, feces.
Do you know like where the like prevailing theory around like the idea that Southern accent is like dumb? You know how like a British accent adds 10 IQ points to people's perceptions of you, like the Southern decreases 10%, you know, or 10 points, you know where that came from?
I heard it's actually from parasites.
Yeah, hookworms.
Yeah.
And people walk around barefoot, and then the poop down here, they would get in the thing and like literally destroy their IQ. Yeah.
I had no idea what you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
Everything's pretty good to me, man.
Yeah. Where are you from originally?
El Paso, Texas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dude, what a crazy place.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I think it's so insane. Like to me, it's such like a tale of two cities things going on. You know, you go up in the hill in El Paso at night, and you literally see lights and then less lights. Like the infrastructure is completely different. Like just with the wall
it's
going
like
through it.
Blue lights kind of thing.
It's
You
so
been there?
nuts. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
checked it out? Have you been to Juarez?
I've never been to Juarez, no.
I mean, back in the days, it was so fun because, like, especially like in my generation, I'm born in 1980, so 45 now. But we would go and, you know, around 15 or something like that, way too young, go to Juarez and like you could just party, you can hang out, you could do whatever. I mean, even driving there was illegal. but once you get over the border, then you're like literally drinking and driving. You're doing, it's kind of like no holds barred. And it was just a lot of fun, a lot of I don't know, just times were crazy different. And then when I left, or at least I graduated, went to UT in '98, came here. But like after that, all of a sudden the drug wars started to be like a big thing. And at first there was these things called asesinados, and they were like, it had to do with like it was like murdering thousands of women, like tons and tons of women, and usually like sex workers or something like that. But a lot of women were going missing, and then that slowly transformed into like the cartels coming together, or not coming together, like I forgot exactly if some big guy died, and then all of a sudden it was like an all-out war. So the Juarez cartel, Sinaloa cartel, Golfo, all that stuff. So I was in town, but when I'd go back, we couldn't go visit Juarez anymore. It was like so crazy. People were getting beheaded and like literally hanging off the freaking bridges and stuff like that. Well, El Paso, so that was the most dangerous city in the world for 5 years or something at least. And then El Paso was the safest. Don't shit where you eat. You know what I mean? It's like that's where we're selling our drugs kind of thing. So
and it was so crazy because it was fucking, there's just a wall between what was for sure historically one city. And you can like, it's just so nuts to see the difference between like two river, and like to see the two different, like, you know, what different institutions of law do comparatively, what it feels like to be in a place that can be massively extracted from, like how to import cheap labor, and then they have to go back every single day to the other side. Like it just tells so many fucking tales to me.
Yeah, it is a wild place. I mean, and then like who decides what a border is? Obviously like the river's a natural border, but you know, there's like just lines and then a wall or whatever, you know, line in the sand basically across Arizona and whatnot, like that kind of thing. But I definitely felt extremely lucky to grow up there. I think that it allowed me to have multiple cultures kind of coming in together. So my family, half of my family is out in California. So we'd go to like San Diego, Encinitas, and that kind of stuff. So I was like always in California. I kind of grew up skateboarding, doing that kind of thing. So I had that California vibe, but then also Mexico culture, like Mexican culture, and like border town culture is like a whole different thing. So I grew up speaking Spanish like super fluently. I've lost it a little bit, but 2 weeks or whatever, I'd be like back at it. I still sound like a paisano, I could like still rock the accent pretty well. But yeah, that's influenced my art quite a bit, the way I think about things, and also my love for culture, my yearning to like learn more about other places, for sure. It's fun.
Was there like a pretty big scene there, like as far as street art goes and graffiti goes?
Yeah, I would say so. I it's funny enough though, I wasn't super into art as much as I am now. As a kid, I didn't know what I was gonna be. Like, I love video games, so I wanted to sort of be an artist in video games. And or maybe like program, but like Full Sail wasn't out. Design was still like almost. I mean, you could draw for video games, but you couldn't necessarily. It was more like coding, right? So I went to UT for that. We'll talk about that in a second. But in terms of like the art scene, yes, for sure, it's been there for a long time. Especially you see a lot of that like Catholic style things, even indicative like in street culture. So like you'd see like a lot of milagros or virgens or that kind of thing. A lot of border town heroes. Also like here, Cesar Chavez. These kind of people that were all about civil rights movements and stuff like that. So that was pretty big time. I know Grave was pretty big there in terms of like writing, graph writing. But yeah, I wasn't so involved in that when I was younger. And then when I go back there, since I'm like more of like I would say muralist, street artist kind of designer, I'll know more of those type of people. But I still know a lot of like the scene. It's cool to just go back there and know like the heavy hitters that are there. Yeah.
My favorite art throughout history, like I've developed this theory, and it's never really been validated by anybody else, but I believe in it, around like art, and especially around like surrealist art. And it comes from when like there's like an internal splitting within a culture. So like a lot of surrealism in Spain came like directly after La Guerra Civil.
Oh yeah.
In this like the Catholic Church and the like in the fascist kind of like turning on like the population, and there's this massive like splitting, and then there's like the communism and the Catholics and the fascists. And then I look at Japan, like a lot of their surrealist art came after we like split the atom bomb on them. And so I feel like to me, like El Paso, Juarez is like such a great potential place for that stuff to happen, since it is this like place that was just split in half.
And pretty close, the atom bomb was made.
Really? I guess in
Los Alamos, which is not too far. My grandpa actually was not necessarily part of creating that, but my whole family worked at Los Alamos.
No way.
Yeah, I got some weird like military connections. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I could definitely see that. I mean, obviously we haven't gotten an atom bomb dropped on us, but just that split of like dichotomy of the two types of living and styles and whatnot. It's cool to see the fluidity though too. It's like if you the people that embrace it. Like my father was a lawyer, and then he got into like maquilas and stuff.
What's that?
So that's like creating that's like factories that are over in Juarez. So it's like say for instance, he was the president of Punk Stereos, which is German engineered, and then they actually built them in Juarez. But like, yeah, just to have that businesses and whatnot going back and forth, especially during NAFTA, that was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to go back to the artwork, you do see. I mean, it's definitely like a very specific style. Chicano artwork. And then nowadays, with the proliferation of more street art, better, like, there's just a movement, right? You know, it's pretty obvious. Like, Austin is massive. It's just got so many different people, and we could talk about that too in a second. But better cans, better movement. You know, people seeing it more often. The accessibility is there. I think the scariness of like going out, it's like not as illegal, right? You know, people want it on their places, right? They'll pay for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Yeah. So it's people can like flex and like learn how to be a little bit better, but you definitely see the influences of each place that you're at through the art, and that's pretty phenomenal. Even just where it's at, like if it's underneath bridges and that kind of thing, if it's downtown, it's more like related to that area or the struggles of that area. You know, yeah.
Dude, it's so fucking funny. I don't know. I can't remember if we've talked about this before, but I used to live on Riverside, right in Travis Heights. Like, right, I had this tiny little bungalow that like overlooked the side arcade. Like, so we had a view of downtown, but it was this like old ass bungalow. The street like literally has a castle on it, damn near. But we were just like this tiny little bungalow. But the area rocked. But right below it on Riverside, there was like an original Obey Shepard Fairey.
Sick.
Yeah, like just the classic Andre the Giant Obey. And I remember being like, dang, that's pretty cool. And then it like slowly got painted over and painted over and painted over. And I was just like, I felt so interested in that because it's like, okay, this is Riverside, but it's like the part of Riverside that's like the highest rent in the nation part of Riverside.
Yeah.
And, you know, Shepard Fairey at this point in his career, like his shit's sold in Nordstrom's and he paints for like the Line Hotel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you have people just come and tagging random shit over it. And I'm just like wondering about what that means culturally.
Ooh, that's a good one. So I think especially like the old heads in graph, there's definitely like a I don't know, etiquette of things. So like you never want to go over somebody else's piece that is like, or like if it's just like a throwaway or something up, you know, just kind of quick, is you just want to create something that's like decidedly better. And if it's like, you know, a tag, you could do a throwaway. If it's a throw, which is the bubble letters, if it's a throw, you could do like a piece, you know, and a piece is like a lot more thought through, flared out, multiple colors, you know, that kind of thing. Or if it's street art, you know, it's just got to be much better. So that was kind of like the etiquette moving forward. And then, you know, back in the days, they would never go over murals, right? And then now with the like Hope Outdoor Gallery, I don't know if you've heard of that.
Is that the thing you just painted the little homie on? Big? Yeah.
So that's the new one.
Yeah.
But back in the days, it's kind of like where a lot of street artists sort of got their start to be able to get out there and paint big and not have to worry about cops or like that kind of thing. My friend Andy Skull, and then she actually knows Shepard Fairey pretty well. So like they kind of got together and came up with the idea of it. Also Jeremy Corbell, which is tripped out.
Yeah. For those of you guys who don't know, big UFO guy.
Yeah, big UFO guy.
Bit of a legend.
So yeah, he's a little bit he was a part of Hope as well, that idea. And then Hope Outdoor Gallery, a bunch of the community came out and like cleaned all that up and was able to like take away all, like, it used to be a place where so it used to be located on 10th and Baylor, which is like really close to like downtown.
Yeah.
And that was called the Slab back in the days. And everybody would go up there and drink and smoke and hang out. You could buy drugs usually down at the bottom.
Yeah. They closed it like right when I moved here.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, like 2019-ish.
Yeah. It was a bummer. I mean, it was there for since the 70s. And then it got world renowned, you know, respect, and like, you know, people wanted to come to check it out. It was very cool. And then because of that, people were like, well, shit, we want it again. And then developers bought it out, redeveloped it. So it took it away from the cool peeps and the artists, man.
Yeah.
But because of that, sorry, this is like a long story to get there, but like, it's so funny because you would be there painting like a gigantic piece. You're actually physically working on your piece, and there's kids that are coming up and just tagging right over your piece, and you're like, dude, I'm not even done with this thing. Hold on.
Let it dry, brother.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just so funny because, you know, back in the days, it's almost like an apprenticeship. You'd have to, if you want to learn how to like spray, you know, tag or do whatever, if you want to learn how to be in the graffiti culture, you're kind of doing almost like an apprenticeship. Like, so you have to earn your stripes. You got to be out there. You got to show commitment. Then that's where you learn all that etiquette and you understand like, hey, these are the things to do, not to do. But now it's just like a free for all, and everybody's like, oh, I can just do whatever.
Yeah, I'll get more views if the artist that's painting gets mad at me if I paint over immediately.
That is 100%. Yeah, people are doing that legitimately. And it's just like all the people that are like, unfortunately, doing all that like, what do you call, like goofing around and
trolling,
like trolling people live in the streets, and people are like, what the fuck? And it's just like all for views and shit. That sucks. I don't like that culture.
Yeah.
It's funny though.
The code,
I'm all like
I'm like,
ugh.
Yeah. No, I think that's so much about like why we built the studio in the way we did, and like the merch line too. Because like I think a lot of things we can learn from like the Edo period in Japan was also like, that was, you know, a period of great like hedonism, but also a period where like a lot of like the Bushido code and all this shit kind of like fell away. You know, like the value of the samurai, it was kind of like having a code of ethics.
Yeah,
you know, they weren't needed anymore. We didn't need a code anymore. You know, we had we had tons of money and prostitution. So like now we got OnlyFans and crypto. So like, who needs a code now? You know what I mean?
Dang.
My parents work dead end jobs. So, not my parents specifically, but like, you know, culturally parents work dead end jobs to never do anything for the man. So like, fuck it. Like, why would I listen to them? Why would I listen to the code? My teacher fucking sucks. I can't read. You know, like I don't feel a lot of hope. So like, what's the point?
God, with the kids nowadays, I mean, I just have no clue, because of course it is going to be just a lot of fun probably, but well, hopefully that's the idea. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's something inherently cool about still knowing how to do like doing the tea set and like, you know, presenting the tea in a certain way, and like I think that there's something beautiful about that kind of like following those traditions. And this is like talking about Edo period Japan, but then like I would say respecting the code, respecting that sort of stuff, but then also utilizing it as a step for growth versus just like full on like fuck it anarchy kind of thing.
Yeah, which is funny to say as like a graffiti artist or from graffiti culture, because so many, like, let's say if you're like I heard somebody use this term today, I don't know what it means, like a milquetoast white person. I don't know what that means, but if you're one of those people, I have an idea of who they are in my head, like, and you're like, graffiti is anarchy.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? They would be like, they're fucking destroying everything, like blah blah blah.
It's
and then they like have to turn around and be like, yo, you fucking kids are fucking destroying it.
Dude, I mean, I my current state, I have to catch myself sometimes because I am like that a little bit. I'm like, get off the lot or whatever. But then I was that kid that was like, fuck off, you know, because I was a skater kid. That's like my main thing in high school was skating. I was full on skater all the time. I mean, there was taggers and stuff, and I tried to do it a couple times, but I just wasn't into it, you know? That like graffiti culture as a kid, that was your skateboarding, right? So like that's my whole thing. And then I broke my ankle really bad when I was 26, and that's when I became a full-time artist. I was like already, well, I should say I was like a hardcore graphic designer, but still very angsty, very like about that life, like fuck all that.
Misfits tattoo.
Yeah. It was actually it's actually a tramp stamp.
Okay. Right, can I do another beer? Do you actually have one?
No.
Okay.
That'd be cool. I'd totally show it. I would totally show it.
But dude, so what's up with like skating and graffiti being so connected? Because I even remember like Tony Hawk American Wasteland, like one of the things you got to do is you got to go tag shit up. Like, do you like, was it a thing in El Paso? Was it just for you because you were coming from San Diego then back here, so that integrated into your life that way? Or like, what is the connection? Even when I think about Austin, like having Hope there, and then near there is like No Comply, right? So it's like in that same kind of vibe. And No Comply, I had no idea it was from Austin until I moved here, and I was like, what?
They're my buddies.
No way.
Yeah.
I only know one dude who skated for them. His name's Dom. He rules. He's going to be on the podcast soon.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Wow. For skateboarding? Talking about that?
He's a chef.
Oh,
yeah,
sick.
Yeah.
That kind of goes hand in hand.
For
too.
Sure. Yeah.
I think, I mean, so skateboarding for me is like the link for everything in terms of art. like you'll like Ed Templeton or something like that. You'll just see like a lot of skaters out there, and eventually, because their body sort of breaks down, they can't do it anymore, right? And that's like their release for creativity. So the thing is like you're one man or one lady, you're out there on the streets. You're literally dancing in the streets. Like you look around and you find opportunities, and you say like, okay, cool. What can I create? So it's all about creation. So like, how can I actually physically do this flip? Like it's about engineering too. That's like how I know how to like do a lot of like create ramps and like do woodworking, and then that turned into like my art form is like woodworking stuff. So it's just super interesting how eventually it's like coming from the same feeling and essence. And with graffiti, it's like you're on the streets, you're looking for things. I'm actually part of this collective called the Blue Dozen Collective. BDC, shut up. And
I'm more of an RDC guy.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
We got beef. Crips and Bloods,
we got
Are
beef.
we gonna be cooked? No, just kidding.
No, but the whole point, my friend Billy Jukes Bricks actually came up with the idea, him and this guy Cope. But it's like it's a blue dozen is actually a baker's dozen. So that's a dozen. It's a baker's dozen, so that's 13, and then minus one, which is tripped out. That's a blue dozen. So it's a dozen, but like but
it took a while to get there.
No, but you have to realize that there's something missing.
Yeah,
so
okay.
That's what it is. Like we go around the streets and we see all these blank walls, and we're like, art needs to be up on that shit. You know, we need to express ourselves. Yeah. And like with graffiti culture, it's all about like expressing yourself. Like usually it's your name. You know, you come up with, if somebody gives your name, or like you come up with it, and then you're just like writing that everywhere.
What's your name?
I'm not really like a graph guy. Okay. So I mean, I write Bradley 01.
Yeah.
Estudio Bradley. That's from Estudio Bradley, right? Yeah. From El Paso. It's got a good alliteration. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense now though, because it's like now I just go by Bradley, which is cool, but my name is Bradford Maxfield, which is like very like, hello, sir.
White milk toast.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what milk toast is?
Dude, I'm eventually getting there.
Okay, sorry.
No, not like that. I don't know, but I'm assuming that I'm eventually gonna get to
transforming into an old white man. Yeah, it's inevitable.
It's just like these things start to like button.
Yes. Next time you wear a tie. Oh my god, bro! I hope that never happens.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid of becoming an old white man. I mean, I don't want to die, so I guess it's inevitable. I've heard on Joe Rogan the other day there's this drug that can make you turn black though. So.
That's tight.
Yeah. I need to find like an Asian one of those. That'd be sick.
Like, I mean, I don't know how well it'd go over though, but if you like, is it like...
Well, it'd go over to who?
Well, like, is it like a pill form blackface?
Yeah, it's pill form black body. It's what all the bodylifters do to get all darky.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind a tan, but like, I probably wouldn't go hard.
You're fairly pale, so you might end up not too dark.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Like a nice summer tan would be cool.
Like a kind of Italian.
Yeah. Hey. I'll take it.
Then you can go around and tell the youth they need to have a code. Man should have a code. Yeah. Sorry, I distracted you. Do you know what you're talking about before?
Oh, no.
It was with the Blue 12.
Oh, Blue Dozen. Yeah, that was it. It's just like knowing, you know, that there's something missing, and you got to like basically like paint, you know, I see the world like that. Even as a skater, I used to like look out my window when we're traveling, and I'd like all the hills and stuff. I'd be like, you know, doing like grinds and like that kind of stuff.
That makes a ton of sense though, because the canvas for both graffiti artists and skaters is the street. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That's where I was going.
No, I think you said it really well. And that's really, I haven't thought about it that way, but it makes total sense, because you're literally looking like, you know, where's that going to be? What could it look like? How sick could it be? What's the vantage point of people seeing it, or like a film filming it?
Exactly. Yeah. It's so tripped out. And then when, like, say for instance, Tony Hawk Pro Skater came out, then, I mean, you couldn't really like necessarily move the camera. Maybe you could. I can't remember. But like, then you're thinking about like actual shots of like how you would shoot it if you're going to be like videotaping it and stuff like that. And nowadays, and this is a thing too that's so interesting, and this kind of goes back to believing in yourself, golden ticket. That's what we used to call this thing called the golden ticket, where if we were having a hard time landing a trick, you know, me and my buddy Landon Gillette, shout out Landon, he goes by Bones, but we would literally, we'd like go like 10 tries or something, couldn't do it, and then we're like, all right dude, this is it, golden ticket. And then like 95% of the time we'd land it.
Yeah.
And it's all because you get rid of like whatever blockages that you have energetically. And, you know, back in the days, we had no idea what that was. But like now it's like, okay, cool. Is it like manifesting? Is it just like you could see and vision yourself landing it?
Yeah.
And then like, so that's sort of a similar thing with like a trick when you're doing it with your feet. You have to like envision it, like how it's going to slide off, how you're going to hit pop, how it's going to slide off. So it's very engineering thought process. And you actually have to envision you doing it. And then that's how you can actually make it happen. And same thing with like art. It's like the idea comes and then you have to like try to hold on to that idea as well as possible. Do like a quick sketch. Usually it's never anywhere near as good as like your idea, or your idea is kind of ethereal. And then you end up sketching it out and then like massaging it, getting it. Because I remember even like when you first told me about this thing, you were like, you know, cyberpunk samurai, and that was it basically. And you know, because even Cheyenne, and shout out Cheyenne, she was like something over here and something over here and maybe a little something over here. And then so it was just like my brain started going, and it was so interesting to kind of go through that process. And I even had my first initial idea was like that it was he was going to be like slicing this way. And then that just wasn't working. Like I tried and tried and tried and I couldn't get it to work. And then eventually, you know, I kind of rewrote it or redrew it and got to this thing. And then he was holding like a spray paint can. And then you were like, hey, let's make this into like a sakura type of thing, like Wally. And that was just like the coup de grace. That thing's badass. So really turned that into like something that was, you know, cohesive, amazing, made sense with the project. Yeah, and then this guy, he's basically like running through like a portal. Like this is like fifth dimensional portal, and then he's coming through here, and he's got the way. This is the floating world, which is what you got on. Yeah, and then this is hope for like the hope campaign kind of. I was thinking about that a lot too. Yeah,
it absolutely rules. I think it's so crazy with the whole project, just how much like the ideation and then the execution, and having the execution be like 1,000 times better than I ever like imagined. Like that was the coolest part about working with all you guys, was just like I have this loose idea of this thing that I'm kind of obsessed with. Yeah. And then, you know, all of you just ran with it and made like the dopest things ever. And I was like, holy shit, it turned out so much better than I could have imagined.
And what's so cool about that, thank you, by the way, and I agree. I can't imagine from your perspective, just because, you know, you have the initial seed idea, you know, we're talking about seeds and whatnot. And then for it to grow like this. And again, that goes back to that trust. That goes back to like just kind of knowing, you know, gnosis maybe, you know, that you literally, you're like, it's going to turn out great. And then that energy comes to us and we're like, shit. Because as soon as I walked in here and I saw the place already done, like to this level, I was like, fuck, I got to make something badass, you know? Yeah. But I was also like super energized and pumped to do that. Because, you know, I didn't want to let anybody down, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I need to make something really cool. And then I started like thinking about it, and I was like, this is going to be fucking sick. Excuse my language, but it's going to be so fucking badass. And, you know, I was just kind of envisioning it in the future. And then this thing behind you, it says, is this even real? I ended up, and just like our kind of connection to our interests is very, compelling, cool, fascinating. I love the fact that it just checked off all the boxes for me. You know, I love Japanese culture. I love like anime. I love The Matrix, you know, and I just was able to really flex. And there's not too often that you get a project where you can just like all cylinders are like flying off the shelves, you know, just like,
yeah.
So
I feel like the last time that you really felt that was at Mod Pizza, if I had to guess. Did you do the one at Mod Pizza? Yeah. Caroline and I were walking by the other day, and she was like, funny. "Oh, Bradford did that because it's closed," and I was like, Really? That's so random.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, yeah, he said he did that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, sick, cool. We were going to get pho, and I was like, that's so cool. Yeah, / random.
That's
yeah.
badass. That was the very first wood piece that I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was also like, it says enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on a skateboard, you know, so I did wood stuff on a skateboard. So kind of always bringing the history, kind of, you know, riding that through the whole time. So.
What's up with 01?
Well, so 01 for this is like, you know, digital. And then also 1 being the beginning, like the number 1. Like, say, for instance, a lot of times in graph culture, people say like, you know, giant 1 or something like that, because giant is going to be probably utilized multiple times. So that's to indicate the original. So the original giant. So like, you know, Obey would be Obey 1, but he's not. He's just Obey. Yeah. But
even your signature, you have 01 in it, right?
Yeah, Bradley 01.
Yeah.
For that.
Okay.
And then what's tripped out because that.
Are you gonna have another Bradley?
No, I don't think so. And it's BRADLIO 1. And what was tripped out for this is like IO is also, you know, kind of like computer 10 sort of thing. So I was like, that's so wild. And I was like, am I in the Matrix? Am I just like this? Because I don't know, you know, I think about it all the time. I don't know how to explain this wacky life, but it's cool. It's exciting. And I do think that you got to stay on the positive side of things and always be thinking like that. But it's the whole thing's about like learning too. So you're learning from both sides. If there's something bad, it's all about perspective. You can completely feel a certain way, like take it down this way. If with any particular thing that happens, you know, it's like somebody passing away, it could be like a loss, but then it's also like, well, you need to know the loss so that you can appreciate being here, you know, like that kind of thing. That was a little rabbit hole.
Dude, what's crazy too is that, you know, I worked on it. You created a lot of the art at On It.
Oh yeah.
You know, Ryan and I were working on this podcast together. Ryan built the place that you like did all of the murals at for Aubrey. Like there is like crazy amounts of little things going on over and over again, which is pretty cool.
Dude, Cheyenne also is my, like, you know, at my studio. She's a next door neighbor to the studio. And I mean, that was pretty tripped out because so that's the thing is like, it seems to me there's so many connections like that. And that's like, you know, that's a pretty wild one, but there's like crazy stuff and you're like, how on earth? It's got to be like by design, you know? And so I'm always kind of going back to that. Is this even air that we're breathing?
It's probably mostly CO2 now. There's 3 of us in this room with no ventilation. We turned off the air thing. So.
A little bit of methane, Ryan.
Dude, Shepard Fairey has always been super fascinating to me because especially like as far as for me, my thing that I'm always obsessed with is like the tension between art and propaganda. And Shepard is literally a propagandist artist. You know what I mean? Like it literally one of the core tenets of propaganda or creating truth from propaganda is repetition. And so what Shepard did for a decade is he just painted the exact same fucking thing. You didn't paint it. He just when you
wheat paste.
Yeah, you pasted it. What's it called?
Wheat paste.
Wheat paste. Okay, so he just pasted it on all over the world, over and over and over and over and over again. And then, and obviously in like a very Russian style propagandist painting. And then, you know, that kind of blew up. But what really blew him up was like a classically propagandist image of fucking Obama. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like all of a sudden he does that and now he's like selling his clothing line Obey to Nordstrom's and it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like what happened? How did this translate? And then he just continued to be this person who is like a propagandist, like masquerading as some sort of like street artist.
It's very trippy, especially because you know, Slug, which is like I was just watching one of his videos, he was getting interviewed. He's one of the like OG graph dudes, but he was kind of talking about that where he mentioned that, you know, graph is going the way of like what graph's anti. Like the whole point of graffiti is like anti, like it's like anti-disestablishmentarianism or whatever. It's just like fuck off, you know. We do our own thing.
It's literally not on a canvas you can buy, right? It's for everybody. It's out there,
right? Yeah. I forgot what you call that, like when it's for everybody.
Public good.
Yeah. But then, you know, Banksy's are going for like the there was a place that was supposed to get taken down in California. It was a building that I guess these people ended up buying it for like $4 million. Did their thing. Banksy ended up just doing that. The girl with
Balloon.
the umbrella, or maybe the girl with the balloon, something like that. And then they were gonna sell it, and they ended up selling it for like 30 million or something like that, just because of the Banksy.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Banksy is a fucking badass troller. You know, I don't know if you saw that one where he did it. He auctioned something off at Sotheby's, and then they actually there's a built-in shredder that was built into the fucking frame. And then so they like sold it, the hammer hits, and it shreds. And it shreds like 85% or something. But then the funny part about that is that the value of that thing just fucking skyrocketed. Yeah. So it's just like, what is going on? Yeah.
Well, dude, Banksy's the most interesting to me, not because of his work, which I do really enjoy. And I like that he's kind of like Dystopian in the sense that he thinks about the viewer as a part of the artwork. So like as the river rises, or if somebody tries to clean it off, there's a new thing there. Like he likes to like integrate that, which I think is really, really cool. But to me, like I'm convinced that Banksy created Mr. Brainwash is just like, I think so, as like a funny. Yeah. And then now you have white women going to Westchester Gallery, taking photos and spending 30 grand on a Mr. Brainwash. And it's like, whoa, that level of troll is so insane that people be like, my favorite artist is Mr. Brainwash or something. And it's like,
I have some people that I know that are like
that's
super
so fucking crazy. Yeah. Like it's like they're not even aware that it's a troll, and they're just buying it hook, line, and sinker because it looks so poppy. Like it's like exactly pop of what you would want it to be.
But he like literally created Mr. Brainwash, and then Mr. Brainwash is like a multi-millionaire. But I think he even like Mr. Brainwash had no idea. He got trolled himself, and then he's like all like, "Yeah, this is who I am.
This rules." Yeah.
I love millions of dollars.
That's a great way. I wouldn't mind becoming.
Dude, I'll be.
It's probably be hundreds of millions of dollars, bro. Like his shit goes for so much.
Yeah, Mr. Brainwash too.
That'll be Bradley of the second, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I mean honestly, like going back to Shepard Fairey, he's definitely a huge influence for me. You could definitely, like in the beginning of my kind of career or art career, when I was trying to still figure out a style or whatever, because I came from, so I ended up coming here to UT, studying computer science for 2 years, and I was like, dude, I can't code, you know, in a cubicle all day. Like this, just can't do it. Because I got here, started doing drugs, my bad, but it got into like rave scene, and then. I guess I downloaded or got a free version of Photoshop, like on the UT servers.
Yeah.
So like learning how to do all that, and then I was just making artwork from that to trip to, which is pretty wild. And then, but I would show my parents some of the stuff, and they're like, "Wow, you're actually pretty good at this." My dad was like, "You should be in advertising, you know, trying to do that." So that's a good way to like express yourself, make money. And still be like graphic design into the arts and whatnot. So then I was like, okay, cool. So I went back to, actually got in trouble, and then I had to go back to El Paso, finish out school there. But there I became a graphic designer. And then I was in advertising for like 10 years. That whole time, I'm just like, as I'm honing my skills and learning how to do all that stuff, Shepard Fairey is like there. Well, actually, he was at UT in '98. Busting out those old school posse, the Andre.
Is he from Austin?
No, he's from LA, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was here a lot. I mean, he was everywhere.
Yeah, he literally just traveling, fucking throwing that up everywhere.
And if it wasn't him, he'd just get friends to go do it. Like so, like part of his crew or whatever would just go out there. They'd go to like Paris, and they'd go to like New York, and then he'd give them like 100 posters, and so he was very big into the screen printing, and that's how he was so prolific. Thank you. But yeah, so I just loved his style. I love the graphic nature of it. I love propaganda, anything like that. And then just to be able to, that's how I sort of developed my stuff. And then my very first thing that I created that was for me, that was like I attribute to be like my first art piece, had to do with the Mexican drug wars. So it was the Virgen de Guadalupe. I'll send it to you guys so you can post it up.
It's not the one that's on the edge of that book, is it?
No. Okay. That's my buddy Federico, also from El Paso.
Okay.
So yeah, both of us coming through with that Mexican style. But I'm actually going back to UTEP next week to paint a huge version of this thing.
No way.
At UTEP. So they're honoring a bunch of the old schoolers that have like gone out and done some stuff with their job, their career. And like so I have this massive mural of this Virgen. But yeah, it's Esperanza en medio de caos. So hope in the midst of chaos. And it's literally the Virgin Mary. She's like sitting there praying, or standing, I should say, praying, crying blood. And then she's the corona, which is typically like light, shining bright light, is all guns and drugs and violence. It's like surrounding her with like weed and like grenades and all kinds of stuff. Super powerful. And then underneath, it's like as above, so below. So like underneath, it's got like a bunch of snakes and all this kind of stuff. It's a pretty powerful image. But that was like the very first actual physical art piece that I did. And you could see sort of my use of layers in that too, because I did these secondary versions of that where I took like all of like the different cartels and I put them in the back and different reasons. And so I just like did this cool ink transfer thing, and you could see this like history, kind of like what I did for your bar.
Dude, I think everything that you have, like even this, was so layered.
Yeah.
Like so many different layers. To be able to think through that and like those levels of depth was crazy.
Oh, thank you.
Like watching, like coming in every other day or whatever and seeing it, it's like, and then how it just looks so fucking different, and like the layers and the colors and like and then even at the angles it looks different too, was absolutely nuts. And then also here, like with the layering of actually the code, the matrix code into it too, and like how good it looks. It's fucking, you're very layered, bro. You're like an onion.
Yeah, like an ogre.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's like my favorite stuff. And I think it's, you know, now that I'm older and there's probably like you can attribute some like brain stuff to it. I probably like have like OCD or something.
I mean, you have an insane attention to detail.
Yeah, ADD, ADHD.
Especially like having for not sleeping an entire night and just breathing in fucking spray paint fumes in this room. Yeah. It's nuts.
It helps. It helps. It's so funny. Yeah, no, it's fun though. I mean, like that's like my favorite thing is to be, if money was not an object, that's what I would do, is just go to town, you know. And it's hard sometimes, you know, because I wish budgets weren't a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Because you got to live, you got to figure out how to live. But I would go to the nth degree on things and just like really focus in. I love materials. I love, you know, even this thing, I've been using different styles of like kind of car paint. So this has like varying sheens. It has like a hue shift. Chroma shift is what it's called. Excuse me. Yeah, it's just so fun. I mean, I love like getting to mess with all kinds of varying, just all arts, you know?
Yeah. All the mediums.
Yeah, all the mediums.
I mean, even so, like with the bar section, like that was like a fucking gold leaf cut thing, laser cutter. Like, what did you use for that? Because I remember you sent me a video of you peeling it off.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this?
Well, so I was trying to figure out a way to get like a super intense design on there where I could still illustrate it all in digitally, because that's like my strength for sure, is like digital art, to start out with at least. And due to advertising, we always had to use vector stuff to be able to like make it big or whatever for billboards and whatnot. So that's just how I developed my style. You can reprint it, reuse it. So it's like, I mean, I have so much stuff. Hopefully Dropbox doesn't ever screw up, because that would be like my whole life of like artwork.
Get a hard drive too, bro.
Yeah, I gotta back up.
Yeah. Print it out.
Yeah, before the solar flash hits us or whatever.
We got 11 more years, dude.
11?
Yeah.
I thought it was 2030.
No, so it just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And it's on an 11-year cycle.
Oh.
We just avoided the last one. But if you were flying from like one of the most materialist dudes I've ever listened to, who honestly is like, he worked for Monsanto, like blah, 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 blah. No offense to my family
all
about
your
that.
best friends.
I'm not that's not my scene, bro. But like he was even like, yeah, I chose not to fly on these days because it was getting pretty close.
Oh, wow.
And not because it was going to like fuck up the flights, but it was enough that it could like have cellular impact on your body.
Oh,
Yeah. And that's why
wow.
we got like the Aurora Borealis in Texas last or 2 weeks ago.
X
Yeah.
class or whatever. Yeah, shit. All
But
right.
yeah, so it's like every
Bring
11
it
years
in.
it happens. So you got some time now.
Okay.
But the Chinese might move faster than that. So
Dang. Well,
Dude.
with their fakes on.
yeah. Dude, I did like 2, like you would think they're not murals, but I did 2 murals in
Sick.
college. Yeah.
Good.
It
Yeah.
was super fun. Really enjoyed it. I loved like the meticulous nature of like doing the large print with like a huge thing and then like exo cutting it out and then like
X-Acto
painting
blade?
it. Yeah.
Oh,
That was
cool.
super fun.
So did you like create like a stencil?
Yeah, I made a stencil. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. I did 2. One was of Blake Lively.
Okay.
And then it was when she got, because I was obsessed with her in high school, and
Who
then she
was it?
got married to Ryan Reynolds, and I was so sad. So
Yeah.
like it said hope, but it like then it was tears of gold with all black of like this like stenciled version of her, and the
Sick.
tears just came down and said like hope and like hope is dead.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was dope. And then another one I did was
Not like you want to, but there's still a chance.
yeah, nah, I'm done. She seems like a bitch now, if I'm being honest.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Not to buy into the propaganda, but
Yeah. Savages. She was like.
yeah.
Oh, she was so amazing in that.
I was more of a gossip girl. Era,
Okay.
But
so funny.
and then I did another one that was like it was like of me actually. This like red and black stencil, 2 images like layered on top of each other. And I forget what the words were, but I can pull it up at some point.
like,
but I was really into
What's
it.
up? I'm Zeus.
Yeah. And I did it in my fraternity room thinking like, who cares? This will be sick. It'll last for a while. And like our alumni got mad and painted over it. So it actually felt kind of legit in like the sense of like the man came and shut me fucking down. But we had it for like a solid year and it was dope as fuck.
Hardcore, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of the laser cut, laser etched bar, man, that was cool because Cheyenne was like, yeah, we just kind of, I don't know, we just want like a like wallpaper looking thing, maybe some like a crane, maybe some mountains or something like that. And that's kind of how I had designed it. And at first it was supposed to be
The circle
with a mirror.
Yeah.
So there was only just going to be like these little corners.
Yeah,
and then I was like, oh, cool. Well, I can use, and that's the thing about having that massive library of things that I've already created.
Mm-hmm.
So then I could go back and pull like, okay, I got this like string of triangles over here. And then so then it's just like, that's where the layering comes in.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, this makes sense for that. I just have to remember, if I can. But then, so then I start like kind of putting some stuff, and then I'm like, okay, cool. Thinking about anime. You love Samurai Champloo, which is like one of my favorite anime series. But so then I was just like, well, what can I put in here? And then I started geeking out. That was like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Because like then I actually had done Kumiko. I think that's what this is called, right?
I don't know the boxes in there.
Yeah. I think. Well, no, I could be wrong. But I started doing this process, which is like, again, goes to like ancient Japanese woodworking and like these patterns. So then I started putting those patterns in here, and I was like, well, how can I, make it like Edo period, old school? So I was just having like a lot of fun. Then I thought about Afro Samurai, that basket head dude. And then, so I was just kind of pulling all these things from, different places. And I put Munchies in there in the beginning, samurai hat.
Yeah.
And
Who's your dog?
Which is, Munchies is my dog.
Mm-hmm.
Best dog in the world.
Let's
Sorry,
go.
Reggie. For me, at least. And then, I showed you that, and you were like, well, could we put Reggie in there? I was like, 100%.
Well, I said, could we put Athenia in there? And you're like, bro, I don't know if I can do your daughter. That feels like a lot of pressure. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
It is a lot of pressure, by the way.
Yeah.
Just a fire. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But so and then I got to have fun over there too. Like even I put the zeros and ones.
Yeah.
And then that says, is this even real?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, just kind of like blending the two things. Your love for ramen. I think I was watching the image that you gave me as at least the background of like where the seating was gonna be.
Yeah.
Was Barrio del Ramen
Del Barrio.
Del Barrio guy, which I really want to go to.
Chris. Yeah.
Chris. Yeah. So it was that. So I was listening to that episode, and then I'm like, well, we'll put some tonkatsu in here.
Dude, shout out to Chris. The brick and mortar's almost done.
Woo.
So he's gonna have his own spot. Gonna be like izakaya. It's gonna be lit.
Sounds like you need some artwork from
He definitely does, bro.
Barrio del
He asked for
Bradford.
Drew's contact information for the build out.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be, I mean, another
That'd be so sick.
perfect kind of thing. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just like literally the best in terms of my internal love for things. I also got to use it as an excuse to play like Ghost of Tsushima,
Hell yeah.
and I forgot the latest. There's another one.
Was it Cyberpunk 2077?
No, but I had already played that.
Yeah.
So I was like pretty well inundated with that.
Oh, the new one that's from the same creators as the Ghost?
Well, there's Ghost of Yote, which wasn't out yet, but then there was another one that was from Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, the Japanese. Yeah. Art. Yeah. My boy Art tells me about it all the time. I need to start playing it. Yeah. I need to get a PS5. Yeah.
Actually, it's funny because like there's this wavelength thing underneath the floating castle that I snagged from one of the emperors in the Assassin's Creed. Like I like took a screenshot and I was like, oh, I love that. So I just like took a screenshot, grabbed that, pulled that in, and like redrew it, put it in there.
Fuck yeah.
So it's like that's what's so fun. It's like when you can be in flow, but get out of flow, have yourself some playtime, like legitimately playtime, and then still be informed by the thing. And shout out to those guys because they're incredible at what they do. You know, just the research. I think that would be a lot of fun to do all the research, to do like period legit, you know, and then how much of that is actually artistic license or whatever.
Yeah. That's my favorite part about when I'm building out the merch line. Like a lot of it is around like a storyline that I'm creating and like this world I'm building. And so I love just going back and like reading old books from like Yoshiwara, like these like textbooks about like prostitution, and like this rules, and it's so fun, and like understanding like Edo period, and now I'm starting to understand like Meiji period a little bit more and stuff, and that part is so fun for me.
So yeah, so I know this first one, first drop is all floating world, but are the next ones floating world as well, or are they kind of like the additional?
They're additional. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically the world we're building is called like Edo Punk.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool.
So the floating world is like the dystopian start of the Edo Punk universe, if you will. And it's this world of where you follow this hero Rikyu, who's named after like the tea master Rikyu, who's the guy who created like the tea ceremony that we use in modern day today.
Okay.
And it's like my anon on X as well, so if people want to follow me.
Okay.
And so the hero Rikyu basically is living in this world where there's no human connection. Everybody just sits in their rigs, and they send droids out to go interact with the world. Okay. It's kind of like your boy over here.
Okay.
And and it opens up. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, is that like top tier droid?
It's the Palantir droid.
That's funny.
It's the Israel droid.
Oh shit! Demonetized,
bro. We don't do ads here. So.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But he basically like, so he wakes up in this world, and like he's pretty hungover because like as your droid goes out and parties, like you can like pay to have like drugs like hitting you, and like this girl that he's been hooking up with often like via her droid coming to his room, she's there, and there's a third one, and he doesn't know, like people are like, oh, who's this random girl? She's like, her droid's not responding the next morning. It's like, this is weird as fuck.
You gotta pay extra for threesomes?
This was like, you know, it seemed like it was free of charge.
Okay.
Because this is like you still have relationships with it. Like Rikky's droid goes to Nima, is her name. Nima's house. Nima's droid comes to Rikky's house.
What?
But then Ricky brought over this third girl, droid, and so they're all having fun. They wake up and he's like, oh shit, like I'm not doing well. And the entire economy is based off of attention. So essentially, like they built universal basic income way before this happened, before we entered into the floating world. But they found out that a bunch of people with money and nothing to do is bad, as in like lots of wars, lots of riots, lots of destruction. And so what they did is they worked with all the companies and the conglomerates to basically say, the more that you are in your rig paying attention to like whatever you're consuming, you can have as many screens as you can handle while you're being quizzed. Like the advertisers, whether you buy it or not, are basically paying for your universal basic income. So it forces people to sit in their rig and watch as many screens as possible and consume as much as possible, and like, you know, buy things every once in a while. And it becomes this kind of like subsistence farming of attention. And so when you go and party too much, like you get docked some screens because you're not like all there. And so Rikky's like chilling, and basically what he realizes is that like Nima never sent his droid home, or she thought he didn't. And so then he like talks shit to her, like, what happened to my droid? And she's like, oh, I sent it home. And he looks at the location, and it's like this place that he was as a kid. And so he goes to his door, and basically there's a shirt there, and everybody who moves into the floating world gets this t-shirt.
Oh, cool.
But they get just this part with no addresses. This is like the jail cell jersey.
Oh,
like
sick.
everybody lives in this like utopian dystopian society has this, and it doesn't have the thing on the back. Riku gets this shirt and it has these like IP addresses, and it has this little temple. And so his journey is basically he exits into the world, which is only run by droids. Like, it's not really built for humans anymore. Whenever droids walk through the world, all they see is like a colorful version of it, not like the dirty, actually decrepit version. And he has to find his way to East Austin to come to the Shoin Zukuri style temple, aka this place. And in here, they're working on like with the workout tee and everything that's going on. And they're working on, when he gets here, he has to sit alone silently for 24 hours, which in a world where you're getting paid to be distracted, it was actually like a very challenging challenge for him. And he eventually makes it into, like, he has to then, in order to go to get to the hoodie, he has to.
I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry.
I'm just like on my phone.
Like how it's hard to pay. I think you literally meant you don't know what I'm talking about. Like, oh shit. No, literally, it's like, yeah, like it's impossible to like, zone in. And so we're thinking like the nth degree of that. Then he has to do a 7-day fast because the only way to get to Japan, so he can go to the place to get to Edo Punk or to the next level, he has to do a 7-day fast. He's stowing away on this droid only transportation to Japan. There's no food. Wow. And so he just goes through a series of things that make it like second, third order consequences harder. Wow. And so he exits the floating world on his journey to Edo Punk. Edo Punk is a world where people use technology versus being the product of technology. So that's like the final line, like the kind of beautiful universe. This is like exiting it. The path he goes along the way leads him to the next place is going to be Yoshiwara, which was the red light district in Edo period Japan. And it's this, again, tie back to today where, during Edo period, the courtesans were at like equal playing field with the merchants. Like business class and courtesan class were very similarly like classed. Shogun. And then the shogun was the top. Sick, right? Yeah. It was like everything down. And then and so it's like kind of comparing like that merch line is gonna be like kind of like, I'm thinking like robes and slippers and like more cozy things and stuff, but it's also comparing, the way Yoshiwara is actually built out structurally. It reminds me of like a lead funnel for like an OnlyFans girl. So again, it's this like comparing back to that period to the internet today, that connection. And then the next one is going to be Misogi. And so Misogi is basically...
Sounds delicious.
The way we've modernized it is it's basically this kind of... there was a book, I think it was called The Comfort Crisis, that kind of repopularized it in the United States, but it's from a Shinto priest originally. And originally is you went to this cold waterfall and you got like cleansed. But how we've kind of popularized it in America today is like attempting one thing a year that you think you have a 50% chance of failing. It could be like going to the bottom of a river and carrying a rock like a distance, or it could be running a marathon or whatever it is, abstaining from sex for a month or whatever you would do. And so that's going to be more of like the grind set, like do that shit. Yeah. And so those are kind of like the pieces, the 4 total pieces leading to like the Edo Punk.
And then did you you already have all this written out? Like,
I have the floating world written out. So now I'm like writing out the other parts.
Sick.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Really cool. The first one, I'm sure you've seen that guy's artwork, and then they ended up making that movie about it. With Chris Pratt. It was like, Electric State or something like that.
Chris Pratt, Electric State?
Yeah, I was like I also had that girl from 11, or from Stranger Things? 11, yeah.
No, I don't know this movie.
But so, man, you should check out the guy's artwork. So it was based off this dude. It's almost like Beeple crap kind of stuff. But I forgot the guy's name. It's so cool. It's like dystopian looking. It's the world basically after this thing, but everybody's attached to these, VR headsets, and they're real tripped out looking.
Yeah.
And they're all just like, basically just like, I mean, I think that they died in them. So you see, so now it's like all the people that are either hardcore drugged out versions, like they look like they're death row or skid row kind of thing, but then all of the robots that they created to help them do stuff are still out there. So it's like corporate world has done this stuff. So they have like corporate looking robots and like all these interesting, I don't know, like branded robot things that are cruising out in this world kind of thing. So I mean, it's got similarities. It's definitely not
For
the same
sure.
thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you definitely have to check out the artwork just because
Definitely.
it's fantastic, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, I mean, just how that goes, and then how you're tying it through into merch
Yeah.
is sick, man. And I didn't get to meet I met him real quick, your best bud.
Dallas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, I'd love to. I just want to say, like, the merch looks amazing.
Yeah.
And like he did a really good job, and just the storyline behind it. I was wanting to know what the IP addresses were because I never asked him about that.
Oh yeah. So fuck, it's on the back of this one, but the 1601 is an Austin IP address, and then the 201 is Tokyo IP address.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of do a similar thing. I have 512 and 915 in my artwork often.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because the two.
Yeah.
I think I've lived here a little bit over half my life now.
Nice.
So I'm more Austin than El Paso.
El Paso.
I love El Paso, but I love Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hear more about kind of the history of Austin street art, some trippy conversations about reality, check out all the storyline behind the bar. Head to skmp.supercast.com. This is the end of the road for you. Thank you so much for your attention.
Much love.
Peace.